Have you ever wondered whether you're actually doing okay financially or quietly falling behind without noticing? That feeling usually appears in ordinary moments. Checking your bank balance late at night, watching friends talk casually about their investments, home upgrades, or future plans while you stay quiet, unsure where you really stand. Even moments like delaying a trip, putting off a decision, or hesitating before making a simple purchase can trigger the sense that you're not moving forward. This feeling is misleading because it's rarely grounded in facts. It's built on comparison and partial views of other people's lives. You don't see their debt, fixed expenses, or financial strain. You see outcomes. Over time, those signals distort what feels normal. Financial choices start being judged against appearances rather than reality. Most people don't know what average truly looks like, and that lack of reference shapes decisions in subtle ways. Clarity comes from data. Once you understand how people actually earn, save, spend, and end up over time, your own situation becomes easier to evaluate. Income is where most financial comparisons begin, but also where a lot of confusion starts. According to data from the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, the median weekly earnings for a full-time worker sit just over $1,000. That translates to roughly $52,000 per year before taxes. Median matters here because it represents the middle point. Half of workers earn more than this amount, and half earn less. It's also important to separate individual income from household income. A household with two earners making $52,000 each looks financially strong on paper, but that doesn't reflect the reality of a single person earning that amount alone. And once taxes enter the picture, the gap becomes clearer. Federal taxes, state taxes, Social Security, and Medicare can easily reduce a $52,000 salary to $35,000 to $40,000 in take-home pay, depending on location. At that point, fixed costs take over. Housing, transportation, food, and insurance absorb most of what's earned before saving even enters the picture. This is why income alone doesn't determine financial stability. How money flows through everyday expenses matters just as much. When people think about retirement, they often assume most adults are quietly building large nest eggs in the background. The data tells a different story. According to the Federal Reserve, the median retirement savings for Americans sits around $65,000. That figure includes people of all ages who actually have retirement accounts. About 25% of Americans have no retirement savings at all, $0, no 401k, no IRA, no pension equivalent. That means 1 in 4 people is relying almost entirely on Social Security to fund life after work. Age-based breakdowns add more context. People under 25 typically have less than $2,000 saved. That's understandable early in a career. The concern shows up later. Adults between 25 and 34 have a median balance of roughly $14,000. By that stage, many have been working for several years, yet their savings remain modest. Even among those aged 65 and older, the median balance reaches only about $88,000. On the surface, that sounds meaningful. In practice, it's fragile. Savings at that level offer limited flexibility and little room for unexpected costs. Before we go further, if you are enjoying this video so far, consider giving it a like. It really helps the channel and tells YouTube that you're interested in this kind of content. Now let's continue. Retirement balances only make sense when translated into income. A common guideline is the 4% rule, which suggests withdrawing 4% of savings annually to reduce the risk of running out of money. Applied to $88,000, that produces about $3,500 per year. That's less than $300 per month. Even with a paid-off home, $300 does not cover food, utilities, healthcare, transportation, and basic living costs. This is where retirement numbers become real. The issue isn't whether someone saved something. It's whether what they saved can support decades of expenses. Many people underestimate how long retirement lasts. Medical costs tend to rise with age. Inflation quietly erodes purchasing power. A balance that looks acceptable at retirement can feel restrictive only a few years later. This gap explains why timing matters. Starting early gives compounding time to work. Delaying savings shifts the burden onto higher contributions later, which most households struggle to maintain. Because retirement savings are often insufficient, many people expect Social Security to fill the gap. The average monthly benefit currently sits around $1,550, or about $18,600 per year. For workers with lower lifetime earnings or gaps in employment, benefits can be significantly smaller. In high-cost areas, even the average payment barely covers essentials. Housing, healthcare, and utilities alone can exceed that amount. Some households take a conservative approach and plan their retirement without counting on Social Security at all. Any benefit becomes supplemental income rather than a foundation. Given the program's long-term funding challenges and political uncertainty, this mindset reduces dependency risk. Social Security was designed as a support system, not a complete retirement solution. Spending patterns often reveal more about financial pressure than income itself. For many households, money is already spoken for before it ever reaches a savings account. Regular expenses quietly shape financial outcomes long before people think about investing or long-term planning. Housing tends to absorb the largest portion of income. Rent or mortgage payments are only part of the picture. Utilities, insurance, taxes, maintenance, and unexpected repairs add layers of cost that are easy to underestimate. In higher cost areas, these obligations expand even further, leaving less flexibility month after month. Food and transportation follow closely behind. Groceries, dining out, commuting, vehicle payments, fuel, insurance, and maintenance become fixed commitments rather than adjustable choices. Once these categories are covered, little room remains for error. By the time discretionary spending enters the picture, many households are already operating within narrow margins. This structure explains why saving feels difficult, even for people with stable incomes. Credit scores quietly shape many financial outcomes, influencing borrowing costs, access to credit, and even certain career opportunities. They function as a gatekeeper, determining who qualifies for favourable terms and who pays more for the same financial products. Many people manage basic credit habits adequately. Payments are made on time and balances remain under control. Even so, large differences exist. Weaker credit profiles face higher costs and fewer options, which compounds financial pressure over time. Strong credit lowers the long-term cost of major purchases, while poor credit does the opposite. That difference grows quietly across years. Maintaining good credit depends on simple behaviour: paying bills on time, keeping balances low, and avoiding unnecessary new accounts. The challenge isn't knowing what to do, it's doing it consistently. Credit card debt remains one of the most damaging financial patterns. The average household carries over $9,000 in revolving balances. Unlike mortgages or student loans, this debt rarely funds long-term value. Interest rates often range from 18% to 25%. At 20%, a $9,000 balance generates $1,800 per year in interest alone. That money produces no benefit. It simply transfers wealth to lenders. Much of this debt comes from everyday spending. Individually, small decisions accumulate into long-term obligations. From a mathematical standpoint, eliminating high-interest debt delivers a guaranteed return that investing cannot reliably match. Paying off a credit card balance effectively earns the interest rate avoided. Net worth measures what remains after subtracting liabilities from assets. It reflects long-term financial positioning more accurately than income or spending alone. The median US household net worth sits around $122,000. Age plays a major role. Households under 35 hold less than $14,000 on average. Those between 35 and 44 approach $91,000. The figure rises steadily through midlife. These milestones are achievable without extraordinary income. They result from sustained savings, controlled spending, and long-term investing. The pattern favours patience and discipline rather than financial brilliance. Net worth grows quietly. Progress often feels slow early on, then accelerates as compounding gains momentum. Americans save roughly 6% of their after-tax income on average. That figure includes all forms of saving, not just retirement. When short-term goals enter the picture, long-term investing receives even less. Large expenses compete for attention. Down payments average over $60,000. New vehicles often exceed $45,000. Home renovations add further pressure. At a 6% savings rate, progress toward multiple goals becomes fragmented. Most retirement frameworks suggest allocating 10 to 15% of income toward long-term investing alone. Early retirement requires even higher rates. The difference between 6% and 12% may appear small annually, but over decades it reshapes outcomes entirely. The average retirement age in the US is around 61. Full Social Security benefits typically begin at 67. That gap requires 6 years of independent funding. Longevity adds another layer. A person reaching age 65 can expect to live another 19 to 21 years on average. Retirement often lasts longer than many careers. Health also plays a role. Energy and mobility tend to decline with age, making earlier financial stability more valuable than late-stage wealth. Money provides options when time and physical capacity narrow. Many people exit the workforce early with limited savings and long retirements ahead. When you line up income, savings, spending, debt, and retirement balances, a clear pattern emerges. The average approach to money leaves little room for error. Low savings meet high fixed expenses. Debt pulls future income forward. Retirement planning often starts late and leans heavily on external systems. Most people claim the same goals: financial security, a comfortable retirement, and less stress. Daily behavior moves in another direction. Spending grows with income. Saving gets delayed. Credit fills the gaps. Over time, these habits compound into fragile outcomes. When financial strain is common, it feels acceptable. When debt is widespread, it feels manageable. Without clear reference points, urgency fades and change gets postponed. The issue isn't intelligence or effort, it's direction. Repeated choices shape long-term results. Once you see where the average path leads, it becomes easier to question whether you want to stay on it. These statistics aren't meant to discourage you, they're meant to bring clarity. Once you understand what average really looks like, it becomes easier to see how attainable it is to do better than average. You don't need extreme income or complex strategies. Saving more consistently, avoiding credit card debt, and investing with discipline already puts you ahead of most people. Small margins matter. Living slightly below your means creates surplus, and that surplus compounds quietly over time. Starting point matters less than direction. Intentional progress often outpaces early advantage. The average numbers show where most people end up, not where you're required to go. Once you see the full picture, choosing a different path becomes a practical decision, not a dramatic one. If this video helped you somehow, take a second to hit the like button. It really supports the channel. And if you're ready to stop chasing the illusion of success and start building real freedom, subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.